Hi, I'm Christina and today I'm doing a book haul. So I was on a book buying ban and that was meant to be for 3 months, but then I did break the ban for one specific book and then I bought a couple of others too. So I will just show you which ones I have purchased. So the book that made me break my book buying ban was this one, Small Things Like These by Keegan. Now the reason for this is it won the Orwell Prize for Political Fiction in 2022 and it was also shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2022, and I just couldn't say no to this book when I saw it in a charity shop. So it was only £1.99 and I knew I definitely wanted to read this one, and obviously I knew the money was going to a good cause, so I had to take it home with me. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this one. It's such a tiny little book and I have been really enjoying reading some of the books from the Orwell Prize for Political Fiction. So once I knew that this one had won it, I knew that this was definitely a book I wanted to read at some stage, so I just had to pick it up. So that's the first one I bought and the one that officially broke the book buying ban. And then the next one I purchased on the same day was The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak, and this one was only 30p. Such a good price, also from a charity shop. Now this one doesn't actually add to my TBR because I've already read it and it was one of my favourite books of 2022 and I just wanted to own a copy in my collection, and it was such a good price. I genuinely just couldn't say no to taking it home. And yeah, I love this book. The writing is so beautiful. I love the narrator of The Fig Tree. I thought it was so poignant at times. It made me cry. It was such a good book. I would highly recommend it, and obviously as I've already read it, it doesn't add to the TBR, and that was kind of what the book buying ban was about. So that's that one. Now the next one I have purchased since then is The Grace Year by Liggett. Now I know this one is like a science fiction dystopian kind of novel, and I think it's been out for a couple of years now, but I definitely, you know when there's just a book that's on your radar that you would quite like to read one day? Well, for me, this was one of those books. I really kind of like that science fiction dystopian genre, and I know a little bit about it. So it's about an isolated village where girls are banished at the age of 16 to the northern forest to brave the wilderness and each other for a single year. So they're meant to rid themselves of their dangerous magic before being purified and ready to marry. So I'm not sure how much I'm going to enjoy it, but it's one that's been on my radar that I really fancied reading, and it was such a good price. Let me see how much it was. It was £1, and I just thought, yeah, I'm going to get it, and it's actually a really nice copy for £1. So yeah, that's that one. Just one of those kind of science fiction dystopian books. I felt like at the time it was very popular and it passed me by, and I just want to read it one day. So for £1, I have purchased that one. And now the next book I have is The Couple Next Door by Shari Lapena. Now I didn't have to pay a penny for this one. I got this one from a little free library, and this is the first time I've ever seen little free libraries near me, and I was so excited. Really genuinely excited to see one. I took a photograph of it and everything, and this one also doesn't add to the TBR because I have read this one. I've read a couple of books by Shari Lapena now, and she's definitely a really good thriller writer, and I thought I would like my dad to read this one, which is why I picked it up, and I think at some stage I may, reread it. So I've read a couple of her books and I've quite enjoyed them. So that is that one, and I thought it would be nice to own a copy, but yeah, I'm definitely going to get my dad to read that one. Now the final book that I purchased is The Psychology of Time Travel by Mascarenhas, and this was also just £1, and I bought this one just last weekend, and I'm sure I have heard of this book. You know when a title just sounds familiar to you, and I saw it on the shelves, I was like, I'm sure I've heard of The Psychology of Time Travel. Don't know where, don't know when, but definitely kind of been on my radar. And again, this was only £1 too, so I picked it up, and I just love that kind of science fiction, time travel kind of genre. And I was thinking about it, and I haven't read many books about time travel this year, maybe not too many last year, and it used to be a really popular genre for me that I used to really enjoy them, and I definitely want to get back into reading more science fiction, so this is why I have this one. So that's how I broke my book buying ban. I have a total of 5 books. And as I always try and keep track of how much I'm now spending on books, because the book buying ban was both to keep the TBR at a reasonable amount and also just to make sure I'm not spending too much money on books, the total I have spent here is £4.29. So really pleased with that, obviously less than a fiver. And in terms of my TBR, let me have a little look. So prior to this, my TBR was at 48 books. And now it is at, let's see, it's at 51 books. So 5 books here, obviously I've read this one and this one. So now I have 51 books on my TBR, which is still relatively manageable, but I am definitely going to be going back on my book buying ban, but with like a caveat. I've decided that I'm not going to buy any brand new books, not any full price books at all, but I am going to buy books that are secondhand, books from charity shops, because obviously money's going to a great cause anyway, and they're so much cheaper than buying brand new. But in terms of my TBR, if it's a book that I have already read and I just want to own a copy, then that's absolutely fine because it's not adding to the TBR. But if it's a book that I haven't read, I'm trying to think about it a little bit more, trying to see if my library has it and then maybe don't purchase it. And yeah, just kind of keeping that in mind. So TBR with 51 books, definitely need to work on that. I have basically exclusively been reading library books recently. I have been reading some of the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. So at some stage I will get back to my TBR. Now, if you have read any of these books that I haven't read yet, I would love to know what you thought of them. Definitely let me know down in the comments below. And I'm glad that I'm going to be going back on my book buying ban. And in terms of the ban, it's not too bad that I spent just less than £5 and I'm happy with it. So that's that. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one.